So where are you right now?
At Brad and Billie's house in Austin, Texas.
And what have we been doing?
Everything.
Trying to go for walks.
Yes.
And
Try to go for walks.
have we been eating anything?
All the time.
All the time. Have you gained any weight?
10 pounds.
So, all right.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be 85.
Okay. And we're going to celebrate on the next day, on Sunday.
Going to celebrate my birthday on Sunday, January the 30th.
Mm-hmm. And who else is going to be here?
Well, I think Kelly is coming in.
Uh-huh.
Angela.
Angela's coming.
Brad and Billie.
Uh-huh.
And me.
And what was your cake that you requested?
A lemon cake with chocolate ice cream.
With chocolate ice cream. And that's what we're going to have. Okay. So I'll stop it there. Okay, today is Friday, January 28th, 2022. And we're here to talk to the prime suspect at the scene of the murder. No, we're here to talk to Mom about her memories of what it was like growing up. So, Mom, you said you wrote some notes down?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to read them off.
Okay.
I was born in Kerrs, Kentucky, and moved to Paintsville, Kentucky in 1944. My father was a mechanic. He had built a garage in 1944 in Paintsville, Kentucky, and we moved to the apartment over the garage from Kerrs, Kentucky.
Now, who's we? You say we moved into the apartment.
Yeah, I was born in Kerrs, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then I changed to the we because we moved to Paintsville, which meant not just me, but
your family. So who was in your family that moved in the apartment? So it was Billy Joe.
My father and mother,
Mm-hmm.
Walter and Lizzie Davis,
Mm-hmm.
with my siblings. Frank was the oldest, and Jean, and me, Phyllis Stafford Davis.
And then Charlotte,
Carolyn, Junebug, or Walter Jr.
Yeah.
And Billy Joe Davis.
And he was the youngest.
And he was the youngest.
So that was in order by age that you just listed them.
Yes.
And so you were 7. And how old was Billy Joe at that time?
Him and Junior was about 10 years younger than I was.
Okay. All right, well, if you were 7 and they were 10 years younger, then they weren't there yet.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. But you remember, you're telling me a story about you had to keep watch on Billy Joe so he wouldn't head towards the stairs.
We lived in the apartment over the garage, and Billy Joe was a toddler, and the steps up to the apartment was real steep, and Billy Joe was constantly trying to get away, and we had to watch, and you see, we had a gate across, but that gate opened, he was there. So we had to watch him real close.
Yeah.
And at one time, he got past the gate and I took a dive to catch him and slid and broke my leg.
You broke your leg? Whoa.
Catching him,
Wow.
trying to catch him.
Yeah.
And another time, same thing happened, but it was Charlotte that time that had to catch him. He was escaping.
Okay. All right. Well, so we'll get back to your letter about where you said we moved into the apartment above the garage.
My father was a mechanic, so he had a garage built in 1944, and we moved to the apartment above the garage. So they quit making cars because of the World War II. And if you had a car, it had to be kept up or maintained. So my father had more business than he could handle. He bought the house across the street, a 5-bedroom house, 404 Broadway, Paintsville, Kentucky. And then he bought the house across the street, a 5-bedroom house. And Mother's sister Hazel married Tommy Dalton. Hazel lived in West Virginia, but after she married Tommy, she moved to Paintsville. So her daughter Dorleen worked at the telephone company. So she wanted to move too so she could just transfer to the telephone company and still have her job. So Dorleen had a job in a car. So she'd pick me up and we'd drive around town.
And you were in high school then?
Yeah, I was in the 11th grade.
11th grade, and how much older was Darlene?
4 years.
4 years older than you, okay.
But she worked. But she didn't have anyone to run around with.
Right.
So, she would pick me up and we would go riding, just circling downtown. And Dorleen wanted to meet boys her age, because I only knew boys my age. So there was a family across the street from me, and he was chief of police, Whitten, and his son lived there. And his son was Dorleen's age. So I took Dorleen across the street and introduced him.
And what was his name?
Francis Whitten.
Francis
Whitten.
Whitten, okay.
And so Dorleen wanted to double date, and so she was much older than I was. So they wanted to go to the drive-in theater. So Francis got PJ and me and him and Dorleen and went to the drive-in theater, double dated. I can't. Now, Dorleen didn't like PJ, and she wanted to date Francis. That was who I was dating. He was much older, but he was good friends with my dad, and that's the reason I got to date him. And so Dorleen wanted to date Francis, but Francis never did ask her out. So PJ came by the house to talk to Dorleen, but she was in West Virginia, and he would stop by every 2 days to see when Dorleen was coming in. And so one day Dorleen's mother told my mother, said, he's not stopping by to see Dorleen. And sure enough, he started asking me out.
Oh.
So we started dating. And when Dorleen came down, her and Francis never did date. But me and PJ were dating then. And that's how come us to get together.
Yeah.
Because he lived just a block away from me. But I'd never met him until Dorleen came into the picture.
So what was the name of your dad's garage?
Davis's Auto Parts.
And where did Dad work?
404 Broadway.
No, where did Dad work? What was his job?
He was a mechanic.
At where?
Well, he started off at Cox's Auto Parts, but then he opened his own garage. He had it built. And that's when we moved above the garage in the apartment.
Of Cox's Auto Parts?
No, Davis Auto Parts.
Oh, Davis Auto Parts, where you used to live. Before you moved into the house. The 5-bedroom house? Yeah. So you and Dad moved into the old apartment after you got married?
Yeah, we moved into an apartment at Cox Auto Parts.
At Cox Auto Parts, okay.
Yeah.
And so you said Dad was a salesman at one time, or was he a mechanic?
He was a mechanic.
He was a mechanic, okay. And then not long after that, he opened up his own auto parts place.
Well, let me back up. He was a salesman. I was thinking of my dad.
Ah, right, okay. So our father was a salesman at Cox's Auto Parts. But he was also so how did he get his skills at being a mechanic?
Good question.
Don't know. Okay. So he was a salesman, but soon after he opened his own auto parts place?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did he call it?
Stafford's Auto Parts.
Okay. And this is when he got a wrecker and he would go out and...
He invested in a wrecker. He put a big truck, made a wrecker out of it.
That's what I remember. He got a big cab and he welded a big bed and built his own wrecker out of it. Yeah.
And did wrecker service with his auto parts.
Right.
And made good at it.
Oh, yeah. And so since y'all knew the chief of police, then you would know when a wreck happened.
Yeah.
And so Dad would be the one they would call to go out and pick up the wreck.
That's right.
Yeah. And sometimes it would be a school bus. Right?
Yeah, whatever it was.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so y'all lived above Cox's garage in an apartment for a while. Okay.
And this man that PJ worked with, oh shoot, this friend of PJ's had a house on Short Street, and he financed it through VA, and his wife didn't like it there. She wanted to go back to the country.
Oh.
So he asked PJ if he wanted to assume his VA loan. And for, I think, around $235, we got the house and lived on Short Street.
So it was $235 a month?
A month.
Wow. Wow. And how long did we live on Short Street?
Oh, well. Gosh, I'd have to think about that. We moved to the country, that's what it was.
After Short Street?
When we lived on Short Street, this man had bought this farm, and he wanted to sell it. So PJ bought it and moved us to the farm.
Okay. Now how many acres was that?
About 50.
And I remember Dad saying he paid like $1,250 for the farm.
I think it was more.
What was?
Like 2,000 something.
Oh my goodness, just all that?
Well.
That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
So, and we lived on that farm, you said, for how long?
Oh.
4 or 5 years?
I'm trying to think. Oh. They had a new housing project to go up in Paintsville. So they wanted PJ to move to it and keep watch on it. And we moved to the new housing project in Paintsville.
After about 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dad was actually a security guard there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because I remember him with the badge and the belt and a gun. He actually carried a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I remember a story about that place when Dad came home and he put his gun, but he didn't put it up on the mantle. He put it someplace.
On top of the dryer.
On top of the dryer. And what happened?
You come in and reached up and got the gun. And come back through the house and pointed it at your dad and said, "Shoot you," and scared us to death. So he made sure he put it up after that.
Oh my goodness.
I forgot about that.
Did I say stick 'em up, Mommy, or something like that?
And I just remember you saying, shoot you.
Okay. Oh my goodness. What do you remember about the farm? Living on the farm?
I never worked so hard in all my life. Your dad had a family to move out. He moved out a school bus and converted it into a house for Junior and his wife. And Junior ran the farm. So your dad still worked in town at his garage. I think it was about 4 or 5 years. You went to first grade there.
And the house was heated with a coal furnace?
Well, your dad put in a coal furnace.
Oh, it didn't have one when we got there?
No.
Oh, so it just had a fireplace?
Yeah.
And it had electricity?
Yeah.
But it didn't have running water?
Right, because we had the well.
It had a well, we had an outhouse.
Yeah.
And I remember that outhouse, and I remember the well. We'd have to go fetch pails of water.
Yeah.
And I had a little hand crank and lower the bucket down and crank it back up. And then where would Dana and I take a bath?
In the wash tub.
In a galvanized wash tub in the kitchen floor. Yeah.
Because we didn't have central heat.
Didn't have central heat. We didn't have running water. Nope.
No.
And so how did you heat that water for the bath?
Just with a tea kettle on the stove.
Wow. And what kind of stove was it? Was it electric stove? Or?
Electric stove.
It was? Okay. And I remember them making coal deliveries and all that coal dust. They dump all that coal underneath the house.
Yeah, that was for the furnace.
Yeah. And tell us about the cow that Dad got.
Well, this friend of his sold him a cow.
Or traded him for a motor or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he needed a motor for his car.
And he traded the cow. And your dad didn't know how to milk.
Mm-mm.
How was it? Did he get you to...
Well, he came in and said, we've got this cow to milk. And you said, well, I'm not doing it. And he didn't know how. And so what'd he say?
Brad, and you milked it.
That's what I remember. I got this memory of this giant 40-foot tall cow that I was milking because I was so small and it was so big. And I had a bucket and I would get under there and I'd milk it and bring the milk in.
Yeah.
And the chickens. We had chickens.
We had about, there again, someone came in to where your dad was working and said he had about 100 chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And they were laying, that he'd sell it to him pretty cheap. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember what he bought them for. Mm-hmm. But here he come with the chickens. And had to fix a chicken house and chicken pen.
And we had a chicken coop with all the nests and everything. And
Yeah.
whose job was it to go out and get the eggs? Brad's.
Your dad had to go to work in town.
And what's the story about me collecting eggs?
Well, you said, if they peck me one more time, I'm going to get the gun and shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to put the gun up to keep you from shooting the chickens.
And what happened? So I went out there and did what? Had a knife.
Oh, you cut their heads off, but they pecked you.
But I got the eggs, didn't I?
But you got the eggs.
And then we had to fix all those chickens. We had to pluck them all.
Yeah.
And dress them and get them ready to eat, didn't we? Suddenly. And we had horses.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything in particular about those horses?
We had a pony for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And you and Billy and Bobby
Mm-hmm.
loved to come out and ride the horses.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be coming from church and turned off the highway to come up, and there you all be on the horses.
Yeah.
And I'd have to follow you in.
And I remember one day, Billy took off on his horse. I mean, just a flying. And my horse just turned and followed, and I had no control. And I fell off. And I went tumbling down that gravel driveway on my shoulder and back and knees and all that stuff. It scared me.
I bet.
And so what about pawpaws?
Oh, we had pawpaw trees, and you loved pawpaws. And you keep them gathered as they ripened. You kept them picked.
I'd climb up in those trees and hang from the limbs and get the pawpaws. And I'd bring them up and put them on the picnic table and let them ripen outside, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Picnic table outside.
No wonder you liked the farm so well.
I love that farm. I remember digging sassafras root.
Yeah.
We'd make tea.
Yeah.
And what were some of the crops that Dad would grow on the farm?
Well, like I said, Junior and his wife did all the gardening. Mm-hmm. And he kept me so busy because he was good at gardening. Mm-hmm. We had plenty of green beans and corn, tomatoes, plenty of tomatoes, potatoes. You name it, he knew how to plant it.
We grew peanuts, didn't we?
Yeah.
I remember peanuts. I was so surprised. I didn't know where peanuts came from.
We didn't either.
And we had guineas or pheasants. We had pheasants, didn't we?
Pheasants.
We had pheasants at one time, and pigs.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We had pigs.
And then we'd slaughter one of the hogs.
And make sausage.
And bacon.
And bacon. Because you'd try to slice the bacon.
With a big old butcher knife.
Yeah.
And the handle was slick with bacon grease.
Yeah.
And he warned me that I just sliced my hand real wide open, and I probably had a nightmare about that night.
Well, PJ would just turn you loose like with the butcher knife.
Yeah.
He said, well, he has to learn. Crazy.
And what about me and going to school?
Well, the school was, where we cut off to our house, there was a graveyard at the top of the road, so we had a good road. And on the other side of the graveyard was a school. So that's where you went to school the first, was it the first year or second year?
It was probably both, first and second.
That's where you went to school.
And then what would happen?
Well, one day you got worried about Beverly. That's when Beverly was born while we were on the farm. And you went to school and got worried about her. So here you come, in the middle of the day, and the whole school behind you.
Well, looking for me.
Out looking for you.
Because I came through the woods, didn't I?
Well, you could come over the graveyard.
Right.
And they came up the road.
I remember my teacher, I was standing in class and I was crying and I wanted to go home, and she handed me a piece of gum. And she said, now if you stop crying, I'll give you this piece of gum. And she handed it to me and I wouldn't stop crying. She said, now you have to, in order for you to keep this gum, you have to stop crying. So I handed it back to her.
I'm just thinking, was her name Miss Ward or?
I don't remember. Probably.
She remembered your dad. She was his teacher.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so she looked after you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember her name. I remember her face, and I remember that classroom.
Yeah.
And I remember going barefoot all the time. I hated wearing shoes. And so did we ever collect like ginseng or any of that stuff? I don't remember that, but did we? Because it was so...
It was so rare. I remember digging it and drying it on the picnic table. But I don't think we collect much.
We didn't collect much. I don't remember that either.
We were so busy picking green beans.
What about blackberries and raspberries and all that stuff all the time?
Oh, whenever they came in season and ripened.
So then we left the farm and we moved to where? Oh, the housing project. And then I said about my friends.
Oh. You one day come to me and said, Mom, why is it that I have so many friends and don't have a bit of fun? But on the farm I didn't have any friends and had more fun.
I remember when we moved to Lexington, and I was just so upset because I didn't want to leave. And I threatened that when I grew up and got a job, I was moving back on the farm.
It's a wonder you hadn't.
I know, it really is. Okay. Well, so what else are in your notes?
Was talking about Dorleen as driving around.
So you were talking too that since your dad did auto repair, that you always had a car.
Oh yeah.
With Frank and Jean and older brothers, you always had access to a car.
Always had a car.
Wow. In 1944, that was very unusual.
Yeah, I had a car at any time up until 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And that's when the boys came in and took a shower and got ready to go on their dates. So I had to have the car back by then. But I always had a car. And I'd pass Dad on the road with a bunch of kids in the car and blow the horn, and he'd be going one way because he made bids on cars all the time. And he'd have to go different places.
Yeah. Wow.
So I had a marvelous childhood.
Oh, yeah. And I did too.
So I was talking in here about me and Dorleen, and she was 4 years older than I was, so she wanted to meet boys her age. And across the street was Weddens. Francis Wedden was his dad was the
Chief of Police.
Chief,
yeah. You've told us this story.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. So what about on the next page? What do we have?
That's how I started the drapery and upholstery business.
Okay, so we were living in the housing project.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Where did we go after that?
How did we end up on Short Street?
Well, you moved. That was getting on the VA loan from Dad. Our Dad got a VA loan from his friend and took over that house. And then you sold that house. We moved to the farm.
Yeah.
And moved from the farm, and we moved to the housing project. Right?
Yeah, but from the housing project, we moved to Short Street.
Oh, we went back to Short Street.
No.
Oh.
That's when we first went to.
So you went from Cox's garage to the housing project to Short Street.
Yeah.
And then from Short Street, you went to the farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from the farm, where did we go?
Did you move back to Paintsville, or did you move to Lexington?
Lexington.
That's when you went to Lexington.
He got a job at a train company.
How did you hear about that?
My sister Charlotte worked at Square D.
At Square D. Mm-hmm.
And so she got him connections with people there, and he got hired.
So Charlotte was already living in Lexington then?
Yeah.
And Square D was on Mercer Road, which is just down the street from the train company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got a job at train. Mm-hmm. And that's when we moved to Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I keep thinking, my cousin said, Phyllis, that's the smartest move you ever made, is to get out of Paintsville.
Well, it certainly changed my life. I couldn't have been where I am today if that had not have happened. So I'm actually thankful that happened, even though I left the farm and it's gone. So what was the address on where we lived in Lexington?
It's on Dunkirk.
You remember the address?
1784.
1847.
1847.
1847 Dunkirk Drive in Cardinal Valley.
I remembered it was a number like a year.
Uh-huh.
but I couldn't come up with that number.
Oh. And how much did Dad pay for that house?
$13,000, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the price was, and he had to finance and make payments on that, right?
No.
No?
This friend of his had got it through the VA and told PJ if he took over his loan, that he would let him have it.
Oh, okay.
I think he said $230 some, and the payments were a month.
And how many square feet?
About 12.
1,200, yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
And 3 bedrooms?
Yeah.
And 2 bath?
Yeah.
Or was it 1 bath? It was 1 bath, wasn't it?
Brad, I can't remember.
I think it was just 1 bath at the end of the hallway we all shared. And then we added a room.
Yeah.
Off the back steps.
And your dad built a garage.
And who helped him?
You did.
I did.
You did all the work.
Yeah, I remember hauling dirt and hauling dirt and hauling dirt to fill in the foundation.
And rocks, you had to build it up. And he tried to get it okayed, and they said there's no way because he was too close to the utility.
Right.
There was no right-of-way he could get.
He wasn't going to get a permit for building it there.
That's what it was.
Right.
He asked for a permit, and they
said no.
That he couldn't.
And he did it anyway.
He just went and did it anyway. He said, well, they can tear it out if they come back and say we have to take it down.
Right, right. All right, I got one more memory of the farm in Paintsville. And that memory is of us kids on the roof of the barn. Can you tell us that story?
Yes. Your dad the roof on the barn was tin, and he was painted silver. And I looked out there, and there were you and Dana up on the roof with him, painting on the barn.
And it was higher than 2 stories. It was like 3 stories high.
It was a big barn.
It was a big barn. And we were up there with him on that sloped roof, just painting away.
Sure was.
And you went out and said what?
Screamed at him, get those kids off that roof.
And he said what?
They've got to learn.
It's a wonder we lived.
I know. And slicing that bacon.
Yeah.
Gave you a butcher knife.
And he was teaching us how to shoot a pistol, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I was 7 years old. Dana was 4.
Yeah.
And he was showing us both how to shoot a pistol.
Yeah.
And we'd go out and target practice. And I remember him one day teaching us how to wring the neck of a chicken so that you could kill it and dress it and have it for dinner.
Yeah.
Do you remember that day?
No.
And so...
I remember you gathering eggs.
Oh, yeah.
And saying, if they peck me one more time, I'll kill them.
So, I remember Dad teaching us how to wring the neck of a chicken, and it was my turn. And so I wasn't big enough to do it properly, and all I did was break its neck. I didn't kill it. And so it just flopped around the yard in agony and everything till he caught it and killed it. It was,
I remember that.
That wasn't a good memory. But you remember that too?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that was scary. And I remember Billy Joe coming over with cherry bombs. which were really, really powerful firecrackers. And we would blow up mailboxes and metal lunch boxes and piles of dirt. I mean, these things were hugely powerful, and we were running around 7 years old lighting these things off.
Billy loved to come out there.
Okay, so now we're gonna take a break, okay?
Okay.
And we'll come back and we'll start on Dunkirk Drive and what was going on out there. All right? Anything else you want to add before we shut down?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Hold on. Okay, this is Saturday, January 29th, Mom's birthday.
That's right. 85.
And she's beating me yet again in dominoes. All right, we're on double ones. Your play. All right, you played the 4 and a blank?
Yeah.
Go this way. So, Mom, so we left the farm and we moved to Dunkirk, right?
Let me think.
Okay. So where was the housing project in there?
Okay, I see that now.
Uh-huh. So let's talk about Dunkirk.
Well, Short Street was before Dunkirk.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you want to skip that?
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you remember about Short Street?
Not much.
Uh-huh.
It was close to the depot in Paintsville.
The train depot?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much about it.
Mm-hmm. So we moved to Lexington because Charlotte worked at Square D and told Dad there was an opening at train.
Yeah.
And he got that, and we moved to 1847 Dunkirk. And me and Dana went to Cardinal Valley Elementary School.
Yeah.
With Miss Schindelbauer as a principal.
Yeah.
And eventually went to Lafayette High School. What high school did Dana go to? She go to Lafayette too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we moved there, we didn't have air conditioning in the house. Unless it was a window air conditioner. I don't remember. And then Dad and I built a garage.
Yeah.
And the garage was built out of a lot of materials from Train Company.
Yeah.
So you said the windows in the garage came from Train.
Yeah.
I know the insulation was all the cutoffs that they were throwing away that Dad had the guys put in bags instead of putting them in the trash, and he took them home.
Yeah.
And the roof was made out of 1x12 solid pine, or the roof sheathing that he got from the big shipping crates that the aluminum tubing came in. And so he got that for free, and used Train gray, paint the floor. And we spent a long time building that garage. We just took our time, didn't we?
Yeah.
It just sort of came together.
No.
And even the guys who laid the concrete cinder block was employees from Train Company that Dad hired by the hour. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, for some reason, you decided you wanted to get into upholstery and draperies. How did that happen?
Mother had a chair and a footstool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wore out, so I covered the footstool.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, she got enough material for me to cover her chair.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got into the upholstery business.
And your next customer was who?
I made draperies for Margaret Pogue.
Mm-hmm.
Was my first customer.
Mm-hmm.
And my first piece of furniture was a chair for Mary Wilhite.
Mm. Now, Margaret Poe was a neighbor.
Yeah, she was a friend.
Uh-huh.
Joe Pogue.
Uh-huh. And they lived a couple of doors down from us. And the Wilhite was who? Somebody from Train?
No, that was my friend that I went to school with.
Oh, okay. And you started Dad added the back room onto the house, and then the garage came later, and so you started in the back room of the house, right?
Yeah.
And eventually moved into the garage. And I remember going and help y'all lifting and carrying couches and hide-a-beds and chairs and from people's houses over to the garage, and you'd Dad would strip them down, and you would sew them up, and then you both would reupholster them.
Yeah.
And you did some work for Ethan Allen.
Yeah.
And what you did was, instead of taking money, you took furniture, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they had me to repair their furniture at Ethan Allen.
Hmm.
And then I chose to get Ethan Allen furniture instead of money.
Mm-hmm. And you still had it till the time you sold the house in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so What made you want to do sewing, like draperies and upholstery and stuff like that? Why did you like sewing?
I just had a natural knack for sewing. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was a seamstress for the Leader Company in Akron, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And she retired from that job.
And that was your dad's mother or your mom's mother?
My dad's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I just assumed I got that knack from her.
And what was your dad's mother's name?
Gracie Davis.
Gracie Davis. I remember her. And what was your mother's name?
Ollie.
Ollie. Uh-huh.
What was it?
Ollie.
O-L-L-I-E.
O-L-L-I-E.
How do you spell that?
O-L-L-I-E. What she just said.
Ollie, okay.
And what was her last name?
She was a Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Or she married a Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed away. I never did meet him. He passed away before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then she married a United Baptist preacher,
Mm-hmm.
L.T. Preston.
Hmm.
So it was Ollie Preston.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. So, you had a knack for sewing, and your grandmother was showing you how, teaching you, and you just picked it up and ran with that.
Yeah.
So I remember before, well, I don't know, maybe it's the same time, but I remember you making our clothes at one time when we were going to school.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Mother bought me a sewing machine before I was married, because I liked to sew.
Excuse me.
And then Mother wanted to sew, but she didn't have the knack to.
Mm-hmm.
So she told me to take the machine.
No.
So I just naturally like to make clothes.
When you had your, and I remember making clothes too, you were showing me how to sew and Dana how to sew. So I made a pair of pants.
Yeah, you did.
And some other things. But when you had your business going full swing in upholstery and draperies, who made more money, you or Dad, when he worked at Train?
I don't remember.
Don't remember?
That was many years ago.
I remember those many years ago.
You know, that's helped me to come up with remembering.
Mm-hmm. So then you decided you were going to sell the house and move to Golf Course Circle. And this was after I graduated from high school. I got married and moved out, right?
That came about by this builder having trouble to sell his house. Mm-hmm. So he took our house as trade-in from, where was it?
The VA?
No. He was a builder that built the house on Golf Course Circle.
Mm-hmm.
And he took our other house that we had financed through VA
Mm-hmm.
in on the trade-in.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to keep the loan because it was a low payment,
Mm-hmm.
and that would help him.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up on Golf Course Circle.
Okay, and you lived there for a few years and had Earl and Helga as neighbors.
Yeah.
With the 2 Basset Hounds.
Yeah.
And Dad had a garden in the back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the golf course was in the back of the
golf
house.
course was back there, and they'd hit golf balls in the backyard and in the garage all the time.
Yeah. Even broke a window.
Uh-oh.
They hit a golf ball through the window
Oh, my.
in the bedroom.
Uh-huh.
Of course, they paid for it, but
Oh, okay.
what else? So when we moved from Dunkirk to Golf Course Circle, we had a full basement that PJ turned into my shop by building a big table right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And upholstered it.
No tech jobs, and he wears a face mask in people's homes
Mm.
all the time. Well, happy birthday, Phyllis!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Do we need to be recording something?
It's recording.
Oh, it is.
Over here.
Yeah.
Send it around. Send it around.
Oh, that's right. I need to tap Phyllis. I didn't get to share. All right. Happy birthday! Is this the first time we've had you in Austin for your birthday?
Yes.
In how long?
Ever. First time ever.
Yay.
Now we're not going to let you leave.
I agree with that.
So does Lola.
Oh, what's the weather?
Do you have any?
Brad, what was the weather in Florida?
Oh, they're going to freeze tomorrow night.
Oh,
Ooh,
No, tonight. Freeze
Florida?
tonight. Yeah, we're going to get right at 32.
really?
Yep, they got a freeze warning in Florida. Isn't that crazy?
Uh-oh.
Anything.
That's why your flight was postponed, delayed, right?
No.
Well, we
One of the
delayed it.
reasons, but the other reason was thunderstorms here tomorrow, right at the time she was leaving. We don't want to send her off in thunderstorms.
So,
I don't want
if you have any steak trimmings that you're not going to eat, fat or whatever, help save them.
Okay.
And set them to the side. I'll get a baggie for
Lola.
Miss Lola.
I'm a little extra treat for Lola.
Those are high value treats.
High value treat.
Additional salt and pepper on the
On the
potatoes.
potatoes.
Yeah, I didn't want to overdo it, so I
Right.
figured you could extra salt and pepper your potatoes if you needed more. I always worry I'm going to over salt something because
Right, because you can always add more.
you can always
I know,
add more,
because
and
I
I
know
love
you
salt.
have.
are you heavy-handed?
She
I
has.
know.
She
Are you
and I
salty?
have Mima.
I have Mima salt.
We have Mima salt jeans.
Salt jeans.
Yeah.
So it's all salt all the time.
This is delicious.
So when you were here last time in October, last year, Mom, I fixed those for the very first time here.
The smashed potatoes.
They're
And then-
so good.
And then she came to stay with me that time, and she remembered the recipe and made them.
Really?
Really?
At your house?
Actually, I think that was Mark's house. Hey, when you were in high school, were you a cheerleader? What were you like?
Just common me.
Just me. Just me.
Nothing common about you, Mom.
Did you girls have athletics or PE? Yeah.
Did you have a favorite sport, like in PE, when you played different things? Did you have something you liked more than others? No. I remember more what I didn't like.
What was that? Dodgeball? Because boys
No,
do it
I
hard.
love. Oh no, I love
Yeah,
dodgeball. I was a
dodgeball
tomboy.
was-
Ruthless. I was out. I was
Oh,
out with the boys
dodgeball.
playing dodgeball.
One thing
climbing
that I
trees.
thought I would absolutely hate, but I really enjoyed it, that was square dancing. It was fun.
I would learn that in PE too.
Yeah. That was fun.
I wonder why they teach square dancing. Did they teach square dancing?
I had a teacher, my math teacher. He would always ask me to square dance with him.
Oh.
So I do remember that part.
Yeah.
Aw.
We did have square dancing.
Who taught you?
Just getting out there.
On the floor,
Doing it.
shaking your tail feathers.
Chicken tail. That's cute. No, I have to say, when I was in high school and we were in Connecticut, I got turned on to something I never thought in a million years, in PE class, a million years that I would ever like, and I thought it was so weird that they even included it in PE. And up there, they did fencing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I would love to do that.
Fencing with the sword, you know, the swords, and we had the big masks
Yep.
and the suits and everything.
I remember seeing pictures. There's pictures of you. There are pictures of you. I recall.
Fencing?
Yep. Get the photo albums, Billy. There are pictures.
Remember that,
I
but-
remember.
Because it was just part of PE class.
I think did you never go?
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
then I'm not remembering.
You're thinking of somebody
correctly.
else's fencing pictures,
Not yours.
not mine. No, it was just part of PE class. It was just one of the things they rotated you through to learn, you know, different sports. So we maybe did fencing for 2 weeks or something.
Okay. Never
And it
mind.
was, I was like, I remember going into it going, oh my gosh, you know, you're a teenager. You're like, I have to win these
No, it's definitely
stupid
intimidating.
masks and stuff. And that's just a silly, silly thing. And then it was so much fun. Did you ever do fencing? It's not a southern thing. I think that was just because we were in Connecticut. That was something that they included in the PE classes up there, but it's nothing that down here.
Played
Well, but basketball, volleyball. No volleyball, basketball, softball. Did you do outside any of the softball stuff? We did basketball and volleyball. I feel like I don't think we did softball either. No,
I did basketball for a long time. And Mom, did you and Dad ever go to my basketball games?
I did. I went to everyone.
You
went to
played
every-
basketball for the school?
Junior high.
For junior high?
Yeah.
She went to everyone.
Basketball.
Basketball.
She went to everyone.
Mhm.
That's so sweet.
And Dad didn't go to a single one, did he?
No, he sports.
He wasn't into sports at all.
I
PJ.
played football. Oh,
He didn't go to those either, did he?
no.
But I thought he was sad and apologized for that. He didn't?
I don't know. I don't remember that. No.
I thought he said it was
I'm going to have to get another jar.
it was like trauma from war, the sounds. I thought he said that to you.
I don't remember that.
Oh.
He did have hearing problems. I hadn't thought about that.
F word, and if she comes flying, then she gets this
Which F word?
Falana.
Lola.
Falana.
Her
So,
last
So
name.
that's
That's her
her
special
middle
word.
name.
her middle name. So anyway, there's
And then I have a couple other F
mine's-
words I say.
yeah,
Shoot,
but
I was thinking
I was
that
gonna
part.
say,
That's where I went.
which F word?
Yeah. One
I'm
little
sure
dirty
there's a
word slipped
special
out.
one that comes out every once in a while.
Yeah, one
yeah.
little dirty word slipped out last night. Mom was shocked, I think.
You tell them I heard that. You're gonna get your mouth washed out with
Yes.
soap.
stop
Go
that.
pick a switch.
Yeah,
We're gonna switch.
Brad, go out there and get a switch.
Go out there and
Bring that to me.
Oh, you're traumatizing me.
I'm bringing back the trauma.
That's what my mother should say. Billy Greer, go out there and get me a switch.
It's always the middle lane.
Always is. Well, yeah, when you know when you're hearing the middle name, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Yep. Well,
My mother always said, Phyllis Ann.
That's it. You know. Although when I was
Wait,
really little,
So
everybody called
wait.
me.
What were you doing at the time she said Phyllis Ann?
What were you
I
doing?
can't remember.
Yeah.
she's just not telling us.
Yeah. Right.
She said it so often I can't remember.
That's revealing.
That I believe.
Yeah. Oh, that's new information, Phyllis.
Phyllis Ann.
Phyllis Ann.
When I was little, though, everybody in my
Thank goodness
family
you were
called
wrong
me
about
Billy
that.
Greer.
So,
So, are we ready for
Cake?
Okay.
yes.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Snowmageddon 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, you
February
bringing the cake
21.
in, Mom?
Bring it in.
Okay, and we're singing?
And we're singing.
And then we'll come back in here to serve it. because
Okay.
we have the ice cream.
Oh, we gotta get that ice cream.
Got ice cream too?
This has been some birthday.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. She says she's anxious to get back.
Yeah.
I'm sure being away from home is hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
You don't have what you're familiar with.
Right.
When you came back this time, did you remember everything?
No.
No, it was like a new house again. I want to live like that. Where am I?
Okay.
This is new. I
But-
We're not
love
doing
it.
candles,
Well, I
right?
have to.
No, we're
I
not.
have to say
We're going to
that
sing.
when she was
just
here,
wait.
when she was here in October. Wait a second, because I have to carry on this conversation. When we were here in October, we had the septic tank that was replaced,
Oh, yeah.
and they put in the sewer system. They put a new
Oh,
septic tank in and all
yeah.
that stuff. We had some landscaping on, and then about 6 months later, I was on the phone talking to her, and she remembered every detail of it and wanted to know how it went.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she knew
Yeah.
All the changes.
all the changes.
But she just didn't get to see him until she got back, and then
Right.
things look different, right? The yard, especially.
The yard is different
Yeah.
Yeah.
from when you first moved in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Very, because they pulled up all
Oh,
that.
get the
junk
pic-
out there.
Present.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Granny. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
You don't have to blow anything out, so you're not going to get spanked.
didn't
So
do
you're
So I'm going to take this back in the kitchen.
Are you going to cut it here?
No, because we got to go get ice cream anyway.
ice cream.
Okay.
On it.
Ice cream, you scream. Oh, what's she doing? Huh?
What's your gift?
Oh, well, she already put it in her
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Just drop- Oh, she might want to taste it before she. Strawberry almond jam. Oh, that looks fuzzy and soft. I don't know what it is, but it looks fuzzy and soft. Well, you gotta open it up so we can feel it. What is that a robe? What is
You
it?
gotta open it.
You gotta open
There's
it.
still more to open.
Is it a blanket? Is it a robe? What is it?
It looks fuzzy.
It looks fuzzy.
Do you need scissors?
I'll do
Oh,
it.
here's a
Oh
tab.
yeah, you can pull. I think it'll. I would probably that taping and stuff.
Goodness.
Pull, Phyllis.
Yeah, just rip it.
There you go. Ooh.
That's good right there.
Ooh.
That
What-
That looks yummy.
looks so nice. What is it? Oh my gosh.
It's a robe.
Robe.
It's a
Wow.
jacket. It's like
Oh, it's a jacket. It's a
hers.
little.
It's like mine, but gray.
Oh. Oh, it's a
that's-
jacket.
ooh,
Oh,
nice.
it's super fuzzy.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
I know.
Because I'm in Florida. It's so good. I know this
Yeah,
is
but
so
she's
good.
cold all the time, so.
Good.
She is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now you can take this horrible thing off and put that on.
Hey, that's my sweater.
That is so nice. Can I feel it? Oh my gosh. Oh, it has pop. Oh my gosh.
So,
I'm gonna have
where'd
to get
you
me one
find
of
that?
those.
I mean, I got the same place I got mine. It was Amazon.
Amazon. We buy everything from Amazon.
I get
I know,
everything.
but what did you call it? What is it? How did you find it?
Is it fleece?
I'll send you the link because it was.
Yeah, because man, that's
It's good, and it's like it's not over. It's thin enough, but warm enough.
and it's not
Yes, it doesn't
heavy.
have to be super heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is precious.
Lola.
Does it have a little hood too?
It has a hood, but also, did you try on your pajamas? I got her and I matching pajamas for when she stayed at my house, but it didn't, like COVID, of course. And of course. But did you try them on? Were they comfy?
My pajamas. I wear them every night.
She wears them every day.
Oh,
I've
you
washed
sent me a
them.
picture.
I've washed them probably in the laundry 4 times.
Oh my
Since
gosh,
she's been
send me a picture.
Okay.
I want to see
Picture of
the
what?
And I'll send of her in her pajamas because I have the same pair, and I'll send you a picture of me.
Y'all have
Her.
matching pajamas?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I got them,
That's too
for
cute.
when she would stay, but it didn't happen. And
Did you not get it in time or didn't?
Well, it got COVID.
COVID.
And
yeah,
I just
she
wanted her
couldn't
to be
stay.
well.
No,
Yeah.
She couldn't-
COVID
she
had to
didn't
be,
come
yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just had to bring the pajamas to you?
Well, we opened them on
Oh.
Christmas Eve.
Oh.
But I know I just told her, like, she was sitting by me. I know you didn't hear. You were over there.
Listen.
You
Hey,
heard that. Yes.
As time goes by, we begin to learn what matters. Happy birthday.
no, wait, read this one.
Years don't matter. Distant doesn't matter. Family matters. We share a bond of memories, of laughter, of love. And on your birthday, I just want you to know you matter to me and always will.
Oh.
Thank you always being there. We love you, Brad.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh.
I am so glad you get to spend not only the Christmas holidays, but your birthday with us too. It's been really lovely to have you here. Happiest to birthday to you. Love, Billie.
And then there's another one at the top. No, open it back up at the top of the card.
There's another handwritten?
Happy birthday, Lola.
The doggy.
There's a little paw print.
And a paw print.
Oh, how sweet. What a sweet card. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Family matters.
Family is
I'm so glad you've been here and spent so much time here.
She'll be back.
Yeah, we don't get to see you enough.
Yeah, Dana said she wished she could come.
I wish you could too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
She
all
can.
want Dana to come.
We would all like to see
Dana
Dana.
doesn't ever come to Texas.
Yeah, so
We don't
she
want Bev
could.
here. We don't want to see Bev, just Dana.
No, she could come with Bev.
This is
You
true.
and Bev. Come
Both of them can
And if you
come.
I didn't
can't
mean that,
both
Bev.
come at the same time, see, Bev came last year, so Dana,
Owes us a
it's your
trip.
turn.
Surely somebody in the family is getting married that you would visit your brother.
More Texas friends.
Right.
Who's getting married? Is somebody getting married?
And that's the only time she shows up. When somebody else is getting
somebody's
married,
getting
she goes, "Oh, somebody's getting married, so I'm going to come stay with you for a night."
I'll go to Texas and see you.
Once in 44 years, sister.
Oh boy.
She wanted to come.
Yeah.
No. One of these days we have to have we bring all the Florida family
We
here
do.
and we do Christmas here. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, we
Yeah, because
rotated.
we've done it in Florida many times, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah.
Many,
many
many,
times.
many,
And
times.
Stacy
Many
has to fly down.
times.
We just have to all congregate
Right.
the whole family in Austin
When
Right.
it's safe.
when it's
When it's
safe.
safe.
When it's definitely safe to
Right.
fly again and bring everybody here.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Angela, family matters.
Family matters. That's right,
Thank you,
Phyllis.
Mom. Thank you, Phyllis Ann.
We going to get cake?
Phyllis
Yes.
Ann.
Whenever
We're gonna
y'all are
get
ready,
cake,
let's
ice
go get cake and ice
Cake.
cream.
Wait, we have to serve it in here because the camera's in here.
We can.
We have to.
I can.
We'll serve Grant.
I don't mind
How's that?
shuffling and
Shoveling.
shoveling
Shoveling.
plates. Lord.
Dad is he's that photographer that does candid. He's candid, right?
I don't
So
know.
I
What do you
can
mean by
bring some
candid?
plates for y'all.
Yeah, let's bring plates.
Yeah,
Let's see them here.
So we want a slice of cake and a scoop of ice cream.
And a scoop of ice cream.
Always.
Lemon cake and chocolate
One
ice
of
cream.
each?
That's yes,
One
ma'am.
of each?
That's what the order of the evening is.
All right.
Lemon cake and chocolate ice cream, right?
Still good.
Now, how many times on your birthday did you have lemon cake and chocolate ice cream?
I've never had a birthday.
What?
A cake and ice cream.
On your birthday, really?
This will be my first
Really?
At the 85 years?
85 years.
Oh my goodness! Well,
How
you need
did
to come to
that-
Texas
wait,
because in
we're
Texas
all-
we do it right.
We're all guilty of failing her because we came for Papa's birthday and he got a cake.
He got a
He
cake.
got a cake.
He got what do you want? An upside down cake, and that's what his
Pineapple
favorite cake is.
upside
Mhm.
Well, that's too long.
That is way too long.
Mother never did fix cakes for us.
Did she not?
She was always too busy.
Well, what was your birthday like?
Yeah.
Busy.
Another day.
Take it. Working on something.
If you're around her, you're going to be busy.
I can see that. I can see that.
Would she tell you, "Happy birthday, now come help me with this"?
No, I just don't remember birthdays. I remember if I was sick or feeling bad, I wouldn't stay home from school because she'd have me working. So I'd go to school whether I was sick or not.
Wow. There's no choice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make them like you anymore.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I remember us having birthday parties for Dan and Bev and me.
Oh, there's pictures of the cakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you changed that, huh?
Well, that was up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those little pictures of your first, second, third, fourth birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
And the neighbor, Fanny Wells, always made a cake for you.
No.
Because she made cakes and pies for people and sold them.
That's sweet.
And I'd sit over there at her house while she made cakes.
Yeah.
And or pies or whatever, and I'd sit in her kitchen, and she'd trim the pie crust off, and I'd eat the piece of raw dough. I love it. I still love it.
She loved Brad.
That is so sweet.
And she would make wedding cakes
Aww.
and pies and cakes and sell them.
Wow.
And he'd sit on the table.
Help her clean.
I'd be her assistant.
God, that is so sweet.
And yeah, and we went back and saw her. I think I was like 60 years old when I went back and saw her.
Where is
Like to
she?
thrill
Still in
her to
Paintsville.
death.
Yeah, we went and visited, and it was so fun.
Oh
In
my
Paintsville.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The birthday girls. Thank you, thank you.
Birthday, happy birthday. Yeah, this cake, you have to tell us how you think this cake turned out.
Well, I mean, looking at it, it's beautiful.
Pretty phenomenal.
Here.
Oh,
Is this
thank you.
yours, Mom? Is this the one with the little? I don't know which one. Okay.
They asked me what cake I wanted.
So
I
it's
said,
lemon
Wait,
cake.
chocolate ice cream.
She wanted lemon cake with chocolate ice cream. That's what you requested. And that's what you got, right?
I heard it was a good combination.
When did you have this? How is this your favorite?
I never had this before.
Oh.
Sounded good.
I think it's beautiful.
Thanks to Billy, I got it.
Oh,
It's really good.
Oh, the cake is phenomenal. It's perfectly. It's not stodgy.
It's not stodgy. It's a beautiful sponge.
Great British baking
We've
I was
watched
gonna say.
every episode more than once,
More than once.
including all the holiday episodes.
And you'll notice that
I'm watching this
if
last-
you look at
the
this
new
piece, you
season
notice
right
that there's no soggy bottom.
No soggy bottom. No soggy bottom.
Oh
Not
my gosh.
stodgy.
And it is not raw. It's a raw.
You like that show too, Phyllis?
That's what she asked to see when she got here.
Aw.
We rewatched every single. We also rewatched the Two Popes.
Have y'all seen that movie?
Two popes?
The Two Popes.
Oh, it's
Fabulous.
it's true. It's got Anthony Hopkins in it. You've got to see it, and it is about today.
Oh God.
Lola. No. Leave it.
That's delicious, Billy.
It is good.
So good. Is this a recipe you found? This is so good.
I just Googled for lemon cake.
And
She said she wanted lemon cake.
Didn't Stacy make something not too long ago? And she
Yes.
sent us a picture. What was it again? What'd she make? She made something.
She's always been.
Shrek eggs.
Oh yeah.
A Shrek egg.
I kept
Except
looking.
that she called it a shriek egg.
Shriek
I'm like,
egg.
what's a shriek egg?
But I don't
Oh,
even know
Shrek.
what a Shrek egg is. I know who Shrek is, but I don't know what a Shrek egg is. So I was
She's
still
confusing.
confused.
She's like that all the time. I have to really think like, what could she be saying? So I have like.
Because she's probably going to watch this. So
Yeah.
you explain Stacy
But
to
also,
us.
but also,
Kelly.
I understand her. So it just takes me a minute, and it's like familiar. When I'm like, oh yeah, she would think that way. Duh. But
Is
yeah.
it because they're cooked on a stone?
Well, in the movie, yes, but it was the way they looked. They were like sunny side up and perfect.
But I didn't understand her picture. Stacy, I didn't understand your
That's
picture.
Stacy.
I couldn't even tell what that, I was confused. I didn't know what that was. It looked like a big ostrich egg. Like, not still in the shell, like some sort of cocoon of some kind. I didn't know what I was looking at. I was confused. A shriek egg. From now on, we're going to call it that.
Is the ice cream still out?
The other one is, yeah. In case anybody wanted more, I left it for a minute. It'd still be soft, but. Yeah.
Delicious.
How come I was to say, I got what I asked for. This is delicious.
I never made a lemon cake ever before.
It was really good.
Is it lemon extract? What's in it?
Oh, lemon
Real lemon?
juice. It's
Real lemon juice?
lemon zest and lemon juice.
That's good.
And it's, it would really be considered a drizzle cake. You watch a Great British Baking Show. It's a drizzle cake. And so the recipe actually says that it makes two loaves. But I didn't want 2 loaves. So I looked up conversions, and it converts perfecly to a bun pan.
But yeah, it's so much
Makes
prettier.
it so pretty,
The
yeah.
math brain in you.
You could have entered the cake on the Great British
No,
Baking.
it should be in pictures. Absolutely.
What do you think? What do you think Hollywood would say?
Paul Hollywood. I think he would say it was a beautiful sponge. And the lemon comes through,
Good,
and it's not too sweet.
amount of the lemon. flavor.
I think it's just. I think
And
it's
I would enjoy this.
And not too much icing, just the right balance.
just the right amount
the
of
right
sweetness
amount
to the tartness.
Sweetness to the top.
And so I think yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever get it out of the pan?
This was where he did a really good job.
Fanny comes into play.
He really, and I thought it had broken because that pan is so heavy.
Yeah.
When I turned it over and I took it, and I was like,
This is the thing we got from Williamson.
and I thought, oh no, it's broken in half. I could see that it had come out. I thought, well, all I can do is just take it off and
Piece it together and
piece it together, and I pulled it off and it didn't break. It's just that pan was so heavy. I
Those pans are
thought
heavy.
it was still in there.
Those pans.
So what did you do? What was your role in this cake?
So we always have this debate going on about how to, what do you want to call it? How to
Grease the pan.
Grease the
He
pan.
wants to just do this light.
I want to do a little light,
tiny.
little vegetable shortening,
like,
Just a berry.
and then put a little flour, sprinkle of flour all
Yeah.
around it. Billy's like, no, slam it in there, get a big
Because
bit
she
of
No, I
knows
didn't
how
say
much.
slam it.
But she knows how Meemaw used to do it, and that's
Yes.
what she
I
did.
was worried about because it had to bake for an hour.
Yeah.
So the longer it's in there, the more that
Sticks
is
to that.
will stick, and
It's
the
crusty.
more that the shortening
Yeah.
will burn off.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like, be generous,
Yeah.
be generous with it, so that it, it's going to be in there a long time, so it won't.
So, and I like the really light. I mean, if you get it just right, if you do it just right, and you get just a thin coating of the vegetable oil and a light flour.
it was shortening, not
Shortening.
vegetable oil.
Vegetable
Oh,
shortening.
like Crisco, like
Yes,
good
but
stuff.
Yeah.
Vegetable
Oh.
shortening. And the flour, I mean, it just makes a little golden, crispy outside. And it's perfect.
You
It's
just-
perfect.
It's good.
Don't ever know if it's going to stick or not, because
Right.
sometimes it does.
We did that the first time we tried this bundt pan with the recipe for the pound
The
cake.
pound cake.
And it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And that pound cake was great at Christmas, yeah. So. Ooh, look at you.
It's nice. Green.
Stylish.
There
Yeah,
you
boy,
go.
that looks nice.
Oh, that looks so warm.
I'm gonna wear mine now.
No, it's so nice. You have to get pictures of you two twinsies in your fuzzy
In your
coats.
pajamas and your
your pajamas and your
That
fuzzy
was what I wanted.
Yeah.
pajamas and your fuzzy coats.
It feels so good.
We should have wore pajamas
I
tonight.
know,
right?
you're cold all the time.
Pajama party.
If we brought pajamas, we should have all had the matching pajamas. That would have been
We
fun.
should have done that.
So don't forget the Two Popes when you
Two
get
Popes.
time.
Watch
On
the Two
Netflix.
Popes. It's an
Popes.
excellent
Popes.
movie.
It's about
so
Pope
well done.
Benedict, who is the previous Pope, and then Pope Francis, who's the current
It's a
one.
current one, yeah.
And the first time in 700 years that one Pope resigned.
Wait, Phyllis, stand right here. Let me get a picture of you two in your fuzzies. In your fuzzies. Oh, look at the fuzzies. Oh, that's cute.
Matching fuzzies.
Matching fuzzies. We're gonna get the super close-up portrait.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, I'm getting it.
We're getting it. We're getting it.
Hello.
You're home.
Yeah, I just took Snoop out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Granny's birthday, and we wanted to call and make sure you're included.
She's coming around.
Hi, Granny. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
I see what you're doing.
What?
Glad I got to see you.
What did you have for birthday dinner?
Steak and potatoes. Brad fixed the steak, grilled the steak,
That's how.
and
And then, of course, cake and ice cream.
we just finished cake and ice cream.
Yum.
I had a great birthday.
Yay. I wish I was there.
I wish you
We
were
do too.
Too.
We're thinking of you.
Yes.
Angela's in the kitchen.
I told her to pause. She wants to be their favorite. See what I gotta deal with You being mom's favorite and her being their favorite. I can't win.
Well, you're
No,
not.
I'm kidding. No, it's a joke.
No,
What?
Okay,
No, it's a total joke.
Like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Now he's in trouble. Now she's in trouble.
And we're going to do Kelly Ann.
We've been saying that a lot tonight.
We've been talking about how when you're in trouble because everyone uses your middle name.
Yes.
Stacy Lynn.
Yeah, Stacy Lynn. So.
Y'all doing okay in Ohio?
Yeah. It's just cold.
Yeah.
What is it like?
We got down like single digits for,
No way.
and then the highs during the day were 16.
16?
16? Stacy,
Oh.
you need to move south.
I know. And I have to walk a dog.
Yuck.
Poor dog. I wouldn't want to pee in that.
He loves it. Like, no, it's not that time right now.
Yeah. What's the dog's name?
Snoop.
Snoop. That's right. Snoop. Okay.
Just looked.
I forgot.
Yeah, you said that was the name of the
Monkey.
finger
Monkey.
monkey.
Kelly's like, you should tell him that you got a finger monkey. Oh, a finger monkey.
My arms aren't as long as yours. Can
Just
you
like,
hold
oh,
something?
okay, that's cute. I'm like, where's the freak out?
You gotta.
I can't see.
We're trying to get everybody.
We're trying to.
Oh, open those up.
So you're gonna have to hold it with the other hand, I
I
think.
can't hold it. The hand is too short. Okay.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see you. It's just we couldn't. We're trying to get everybody in.
Trying to get everybody. Here comes Angela.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
The other favorite child.
My
Three
competition here.
favorite children.
Oh my god.
Are you doing dishes?
Yeah, we just had cake. We just finished dinner and had cake. And
Yeah.
Granny said this was the first. She requested a lemon cake with chocolate ice cream. This was the first time in 85 years that she got a cake that she requested.
Oh. She didn't make her own?
You didn't make your own?
No.
No?
That was a good birthday surprise then.
She didn't have to make her own cake.
Or a 16-hour Milky Way cake.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to hand that over to
No,
one of y'all
no.
any day.
I
Any
tapped
time.
out.
Favorite.
As long as,
Favorite.
as long as somebody makes it every year, I don't care who.
No, I tapped out of Milky Way cake after the one time I made it.
It's $200. Wait, Kelly and I were living together and we were going to make it for you as a surprise.
Yeah.
But we didn't even know what a Dutch oven was. It's like a double boiler.
Double
To
boiler.
melt chocolate.
It's this thing when you toot in the bed and then you pull the covers over. That's a Dutch oven. I've been told.
You don't need a Dutch oven, a real one. I'm not talking about that.
Good. That was good.
And that's why she only made that cake one time.
Completely unexpected.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dutch oven. I gotta put
What?
a Dutch oven in this cake.
I never.
Wait.
We can't hear her.
We can't hear her. Say it again.
Where'd you guys find the recipe for the Milky Way cake? Did Granny invent it? Granny.
Invent it? Did you invent it?
I can't remember. I think I just found it.
Just say yes.
Yes.
$200 cake. I know we were taught, we group messaged Granny on Kelly's cell phone, and I verified with her that you ate 12 dozen eggs and a stack of pancakes.
Yep.
And I said, that's why you had the realtors come out and look at your house for sale. You couldn't afford to feed him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Granny said that after I moved out, that she kept buying the same amount of groceries, and 2 weeks later she looked in, she had like 6 gallons of milk and 18 dozen eggs, and nobody was eating them.
It's the pancakes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No, they did my favorite.
You family member?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
Lola.
Lola.
That's Lola.
Is she being bad?
No, she just got out of the kitchen.
She just got out of the kitchen. We were keeping her in there while we ate. So, because she's still puppy. She's 17 months old. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she's still all over the place. But she's very, very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, she's very, very, very sweet. But she has has anxiety, so she's reactive to noises and stuff. She's not ugly. But
Was she a rescue?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get her as a puppy?
8 months old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So how old is Snoop?
No. 5.
5. Oh.
Oh, really?
What kind of dog?
A mutt. It looks like not puppy. I'm very, very graceful.
Right, we know this about you,
That's your
Stacy.
legacy.
That's always been something that
The
you've
ballerina
been
of the
strong in.
family.
Yes. We've always commented on how graceful and
Jealous.
well
We were
balanced, Stacy.
Yeah.
Oh, good nap I took.
Yeah.
It was.
I remember, Phyllis, do you remember when Stacy plowed herself into your bushes in Kentucky, in the
The
front
golf
yard
course
bushes,
circle?
when she was riding her bicycle and rode her bicycle right into your bushes? Face planted? That's been a long time ago.
I down, but I still held on to my bike.
You did.
New bicycles, you can't let go.
No, I didn't let go. I just stayed upside down. And then Granny had the big hill for the driveway.
Yeah.
We would take our skateboards and sit on them, go down.
Yeah, and up the grass hill. Up. Just stop.
No, my favorite
Could you
story.
imagine doing that right now?
No.
Y'all should do
No.
it. Y'all should try it next time you're together.
I
I think you should go for it.
You've been doing rollerblading?
Dad's gonna film.
No, Ellie, I couldn't do that. You got us rollerblades.
Yeah, she does that.
She still does it.
I do.
You do?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I
Nice.
I don't bounce, man. I quit bouncing a long
Yeah.
time
I
ago. I
fell,
don't do
and
that
it was
stuff.
pain. There was some, but I hadn't fallen since the wreck, so it was weird. It sent a lot of
A little scary,
things up my
little
spine.
traumatic
It was a little
moments.
traumatic, but I
Well-
was totally fine, so I felt better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now
My
you have the
favorite
confidence
Stacy
to go out
story
and tackle
I'm
the.
ready for
was when
traffic.
we went up into the Adirondacks. Y'all remember that? You remember going camping
Camping
up in
in
the
New York.
Adirondacks?
She kept falling
In
in
New
all the
York.
creeks.
And Angela and Kelly could go walk on the rocks. And you're like, you can't go, Stacy. And I was
Yeah.
that I sat like a picnic table and I was eating Triscuits.
Yeah. You didn't have an extra pair of shoes. I'm like, no, you're not going to walk around in wet shoes and get blisters.
Because you knew she was going to end up in the water. You didn't
she's
even
She
gonna
have
already
to.
did.
Right.
You had already fallen a couple of times, and no, the best thing was when you were you had to pee. And
Oh, I can't. Still can't do that.
and every single pair, every clothing that you had with you ended up wet.
She says they still do.
I'm in that situation. They have to fully all of it all has to come off.
That's hilarious. Like, no, you have to squat all the way down.
All the way down, Stacy.
She's just stand up.
Standing.
Keep my pants on.
And the other thing was
She had the wood skills like we do about
We're
being on the
survivalists.
side of the road between Austin and Henderson
We
a
could be on
thousand
Naked
times.
and Afraid, girl. We would win
Winning.
Winning.
And then we went to the Grand Canyon, and you said, "Watch this," and you squirted that Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap in your mouth.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Oh
at
my
all.
God! Do you remember that?
Remember hiking the
South Rim.
Grand Canyon,
Yeah.
but
I
I
don't
believe
remember that at all.
Well, it was when we set up camp, and we were in all those trees, and you remember we had a huge thunderstorm.
Yeah,
The
we had-
monsoons. Oh, those afternoon monsoons.
Yeah.
At the Grand
But this was at night. We
This
all
was
had
at
to get
night.
up
Another
and get
rain
out of
came
our
through.
tents and go into the van
The
and
van,
stay in the
yeah.
van. It was pretty. Except y'all, of course. I was, no, we want to stay. We're like, get up.
we were
but
all playing cards too, weren't we?
do
We're
what?
playing cards?
Cards.
I think
Oh,
so.
it could have been.
Could have been.
But we had that Dr. Bronner soap, and on the label it talks about
You
how
can drink it.
you can use it as a mouthwash or toothpaste, or you can wash your dishes or your
Or
hands
wash your
or
hair
showers,
or
your
whatever.
hair, or whatever it's got.
And I remember that, like for your hair and your body, a mouthwash.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you were like, "Kelly, watch this," and you squirted it in your mouth, and you went, and spit it out and drank a bunch of water, and you're like, "Oh my God!"
You're supposed to dilute it for mouthwash.
Yeah, you have to dilute it.
It was straight peppermint.
Yeah.
Oh, it's soap. It's soap.
Well, she probably needed her mouth washed out with soap at the time anyway.
I washed my own mouth out.
Yeah, you did.
Were you impressed, Kelly?
Of the peppermint soap.
Was I compressed?
Impressed.
Oh, impressed? No, I was worried.
Kelly's always been the worrier.
My anxiety has been with me a long time. The bridges, as she knows, the bridges.
The bridges.
Yes.
The bridges of what?
When we would drive from Texas to Kentucky, we would go over that
Oh.
bridge. That was my first vivid panic attack.
And the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in Florida?
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember that one?
That triggered it, but yeah, it was any.
Forward.
Uh-huh.
And I would just watch until we got over the bridge and say, "Not yet, sissy."
She was calming me down.
Yeah.
And roller coasters.
Oh yeah.
I don't do roller coasters either.
Stacy, do you do roller coasters? Stacy,
Is my connection good?
is your what?
Is my connection good?
Yeah.
It's just every time anyone laughs or talks or makes any sound while you're talking, it cuts you out.
Oh,
Yeah.
because on screen, you guys
Stupid iPhone.
freeze.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I have
So-
to go. Do y'all? If y'all want to keep talking,
Do you like roller coasters?
you can FaceTime with.
I
Uncle
used to.
Phyllis's
I haven't been
phone.
for a long time.
Okay. Well,
I've
is
got
this your phone?
It's
Yeah.
my phone.
Oh.
I've got to get home because I've got
all
to
right.
do
So
Maggie's
we're on
meds
Stacy's or Angela's phone, and we need
And
to.
she has to leave.
I have
gotta
to
go.
leave.
So,
So
we
say
have
goodbye.
to say goodbye.
Okay. Bye, Angela. Careful. Miss you.
Love you,
Bye.
Granny.
Granny. Say bye.
Bye,
Bye,
All right,
Stace.
bye.
Bye, Stacey.
Bye.
Sissy.
sorry.
I'm sorry I
You
have to
gotta
run
go.
off, but I gotta go because I gotta go to work tomorrow, and I have to get my kitty meds done at a reasonable hour.
All right. Wednesday is going to be freezing rain, so you plan accordingly and stay home.
Instead of Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday's beautiful. Wednesday you can't go to work. Wednesday, Thursday.
I hate to break it to you.
No, you
But
get
if-
the parental note. You just say my dad says, and he has to call
Like,
you anyway. He has to call you in.
And my boss is like, aren't you like 50 years old?
So, what does that? What does age have to do with anything?
It's my parents. Like, listen.
You're always. I mean, your parents are always your parents. It's just how it is.
That's right.
Phyllis, happy birthday. I'm so happy to see you one more time before you go home.
Love you.
Love you
It's
too.
bittersweet.
Okay, you be safe traveling home, okay?
Granny, you want to go in your crate? You want to go in your cage? She's coming.
Yes.
Dan and Bev got to kick that rabbit. We got to put all the napkins and everything in the middle of the table.
Okay.
I forgot to ask Angela if she wanted to take a cake home, but Kelly, do you want to take a cake home?
I can't say no to that.
Well, good.
Thank you.
Well, Lenny should have some.
That's
Yeah.
really sweet.
So come tell me how much you want.
Okay. You could put the whole thing in. The whole thing's just perfect. Thank
Did you take the?
I can tell you.
Wow.